Welcome back to the Doorkickers player channel. This is mission 46, Lost in the Bog. This is a hostage rescue mission. It's an interesting map. But before we get into the actual mission and start going through what we need to do, I like to just play all of my attempts at this mission because I just record all of it. But I played in 100x speed and it's kind of fun to watch. I enjoy watching it, so now you have to too. Here it is. All right, so that was about 15 minutes of game gameplay time. That's 50 minutes, about plus minus. Well, actually, just maybe minus. And yeah, so it's about 50 minutes. So it's total 52 minutes plus. Well, I guess deduct from the 52 minutes the replay time and the amount of time it took me to go through this last attempt. But anyways, we're going to be watching the last attempt at this mission, and I'm going to narrate it. I have it in 0.75 speed so that I can talk about everything I want to talk about without having to pause too much. And then at the end, we're going to watch the replay in real time with no pausing and no talking over it, etc. So we have an interesting route. We did try all of the different possibilities. We tried from all the different angles, but we do have an interesting route here. We're going to have all the operators go in the same door and not go out I'm sorry, not infiltrate different doors. And we're doing that because there is almost definitely going to be a hostage in that Alpha Delta corner room. And so we have him doing that. But other than that, let's see. So they're moving in and they're using the lock. Now I'm pretty sure that I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that they have silenced rifles. Well, I'm not too certain about that. And you're gonna see here I'm adjusting the path of operator 3. And the reason I'm adjusting that path is because in operator 4 is because in previous attempts operator 3 got killed because they weren't walking side by side as they should. And I mentioned this in previous videos. You need operators walking side by side, not in front of each other. So we just adjusted that really quickly. And you can also see that we have operator, well, that's operator 2. Operator 2 is going to cover that back area. Is going to cover the 6. And operators 1 and 2 are now going to breach that little bathroom there. And they do that in a specific way. So it's essentially the running the rabbit. Even though it's technically flowing into the room, it's not. It's running the rabbit, and that's because the first operator to go into the room is running past the corner of greater threat, and the second operator is facing the corner of greater threat. And so technically that was running the rabbit, just in a small confined space. And so what we have now is we have operators 1 and 2 are going to escort the hostage out into the rescue zone. And we're going to have operator 1 cover that side that he's going to cover, you're going to see in a minute, because there could be a tango coming out of that Alpha Bravo corner room. And so this is a little risky because now we have operators 3 and 4 not covering their 6. So that is a little bit risky, as you can see, but I'm immediately bringing them back because I realize that that's a little bit too risky of a move to have them stand there. And in the meantime, operators 5 and 6 are going to blow that door because there's almost definitely a tango behind there. And that tango was taken out by the blast, so that room is clear. We've tried to clear that room in other ways before. It just did not have nearly the same effect. And it just wasn't nearly as if I mean, operators were getting killed. And these are the types of situations where I kind of get like worried because it's like, is the operator gonna die before he kills the tango or not? So thankfully it works, and this is why the formation that operators 3 and 4 are currently in, that's why it works, is because when they're side by side, it takes less bullets and they can cover a little bit of a greater area. And I'm wondering if I actually did this, but right here we should have operator 2. We should have him stop and wait for operator 1 to catch up because they're going into an area that's unfamiliar, and it's always best to have 2 operators go together. And also, utilizing flashbangs is great if you have the cover. And if you have the time, utilizing flashbangs is a great idea. It's not always an option. Sometimes it's not necessary, but it's definitely a great idea. So these situations are a little scary because it's like, well, these operators aren't covered while they're throwing the flashbangs. And so this situation is a little bit scary, and I've had operators die in the game in these situations that while they're throwing the flashbang, they die. So these situations are a little scary, but we're sort of just having faith that it'll work out. And you can see here, I'm waiting for the exact moment that operators 3, 4, and 5 are gonna move so that I can have operator 6 move as well. That's why I played and paused that split second. And the flashbang was a great idea because look at how many tingles are right behind that door, right behind that corner. I mean, in that hallway. Flashbangs was a brilliant idea. And you can see I'm gonna kind of run the rabbit with operator 1 going into that room because if operator 1 hooks into that room and goes towards the greater threat, operator 1 is definitely going to get killed because he's just standing in the fatal funnel. He's standing right in front of a hallway. So you want to make sure that operator 1 is going behind cover and not just standing there. And this is the issue with operator 6, operators 5 and 6, is that they're just going to stand in the hallway now, and they're not really going to take any cover, which is kind of a really dangerous situation. It's a dangerous situation for all 4 operators, but it's a pretty dangerous situation specifically for operator 5 and 6. And that's exactly why I'm pulling back operators 5 and 6. Because it's a pretty dangerous. You don't want them just standing there. You want all the operators to go and hide behind cover immediately. As soon as you see that many tangos, you want to get all the operators behind cover. And then once they're behind cover, you can throw another flashbang, or you can have them move out at the same time. Kind of depends on whatever you want to do, really. Like I said, again, I haven't watched this before narrating this, so I'm just saying what I'm thinking, and this is probably what I was thinking in the moment. So yeah, so we're gonna utilize the flashbangs again. I'm trying to cancel the damn flashbang, but I just apparently have to draw a line. So I wanted him to get a little closer to the room so that he can throw a flashbang further down that hallway. And are we gonna throw 3 flashbangs? Yeah, we're gonna make sure that these tangos cannot see a damn thing. And then again, there's a big risk factor of the tangos could move towards the operators and hurt the operators. That's a factor that can happen. You kind of just hoping that it doesn't. Alright, so now that that hostage is secure, we have to bring back operators 1 and 2, and that's gonna make them walk a lot. So walking takes time, so I'm not really gonna plan for anything besides for getting to that point because it's just gonna take time until they get there, and the mission could be over by then. So we're not really gonna plan for more than that. And I'm pausing here because I want to draw the lines for the operators so that the second that the flashbangs pop, we can have the operators move into that hallway and start clearing the rest of the building. And as you can see, I'm making sure to keep them side by side so that they can all get a shot off. Now, I should be running the rabbit in this hallway with operators 5 and 6, but it's a discussion for another time. So all the operators have been hit right now. Got an award, that's cool. But and this is the tricky part because there's this tango in that room. Well, there are those tangos in that room. And the issue with that is that we only have a limited amount of operators that can actually see those tangos. And so if that one operator can't take care of that tango, then all 4 tangos have to go back and hide behind cover until we can get operators to breach that. Like it's just it's frustrating. Either you have to bring all the operators into the room and risk immediately getting shot, or you have to take all the operators behind cover and risk them getting shot while trying to take cover, and then risk them getting shot again when they try to exit the room. Like it's just like almost like a no-win situation. It's like, well, what do you do in the situation? Apparently, what you do in the situation is you have one operator take them out, which almost never works. I'm surprised that actually worked. And in this situation, we're not going to throw a flashbang because we just do not have time to hide behind cover because the other operators are already moving down that hallway. So we've got to quickly have an operator go and uh, direct the area of greater threat and attack that area as quickly as possible so that the other operators can pass through the hallway safely. And then right about now, operators 1 and 2 are sort of catching up, so we're just going to have them move down that hallway because everything else is clear. Except for that Charlie Delta corner, but we're not going to talk about that. And what we're going to do is we're going to have operator, I think it's operator 5, go and cover that doorway to the Charlie side, sorry, Bravo side, while operators, I don't even know what number they are, operators 3, 4, and 5 are trying to get that door open. And so operator, I think that's operator 4. Yeah, so operator 4 right now is just covering that entrance, and so is operator 6. So operator 5 is the one by the Bravo side. Operators 4 and 6 are just covering that door because as soon as we open that door, we want to have access to the tangos that are inside, as we just did, and that was why we had them in that doorway and not hanging out and covering on the outside of that fatal funnel. So basically, there's 2 ways to open a door to a room. One way is to have the operators outside of the fatal funnel and then flow in or run the rabbit or whatever. And then the second way is to have one operator open the door from outside of the fatal funnel while 2 operators are standing right in front of the door inside the fatal funnel. and the split second that that door is open, those operators just go in there. They're just in there, right? So as the door is opening, they can already have a line of sight on the door and just start taking out tangos that are behind that door. And then as the door opens, they move in, which in real life is not recommended, but in the game works very nicely. And it worked great in this situation. So, yeah, overall, I'm happy with the mission. I'm happy with the way it worked out. And it was a little touch and go there. There were some parts that were a little sketchy, but I think it was a successful mission. And all right, let's watch the replay.
Alpha, go.
Placing charge. Cover. Come position. Civilian secured. On target. Position. No tango. Covering. On target. Right position. Tango down. Right down. On your mark. On target. Holding. Flash out. Moving. Tango down. You're safe. Hostage secured. Flash out. In position. Right down. Right down. Right down. On your mark. Covering. No contact. No contact. Looks clear. Door unlocked. No tangos.
Time to say goodbye.
Good job. You're done here.
All right, so that was mission 46, Lost in the Bog. Overall successful mission. And something that's interesting is that it's kind of after you watch me explain everything, all the decisions that I made. When you watch it in real time, it's not as exciting. So I think that in future videos, I'll play the replay at first and then go through all of that narration explaining what I did. Because then you kind of like get to experience it at full speed before you have a chance to really break it down and understand what's going on. So I think that I'll do that in the future videos. Let me know if you like that in the comments. If there's anything else you want to see or if there's anything you want to hear about, and feel free to let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like if you want to see more of these kinds of videos. Subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.